about Organza. I'm so excited to share this product with you. If you haven't seen it, it's very familiar. It's on our Bench Buddies. You can see the silver right here is on our Joy Christmas Bench Buddy. And then we've got our purple right here on this other side on our very fun witch. This is so cute, I think, with the witch falling into the pot, the brewing pot right there. And last but not least, we've got the red that's in the middle here, and that is on our Ginger's Kitchen. And as you can see, it's used throughout the pillow. First of all, it's on this, the ruffles on the ends, and it's so cute on this cute little gingerbread girl. Just makes her dress, and it's so really a fun way to use the organza. I'm not sure how you want to pronounce that. So what I'm going to do today is share some tips specifically to how organza works. So I'm going to set this down here. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you, when you get it and you pull it off the roll, you can see that the top side is going to be the right side of the organza. You can also tell by sliding your finger over the glitter, and if you feel the glitter on the top side, that is the right side, and the back side is the wrong side. That's how you're going to know the right side from the wrong side when you follow the instructions. So today I'm going to show you a little bit more. So we take the piece of organza, it's a 6 by 6 inch piece, and we folded it in half. Now one word of warning, don't place an iron directly on the organza, it will melt. So what I do is I placed a cover or just a piece of fabric, just something that will protect this organza, and then I ironed it. Right here is the crease, so I folded it in half, and so you can see the right side is facing out on both sides. So it's the right side on the outside, and the wrong sides are what we folded together in the middle. Our next set of instructions is to gather this at the raw edges. Now what I've done is you can do it by hand. You would take about a 1/4 of an inch gap in between if you're doing it by hand with a thicker thread like a floss. I took this to the sewing machine, and what I like to do is I do 2 different colors, one on the top, one for the bottom with a bobbin thread, and it's a different color than your actual organza, so it's easy for me to visualize and see what I'm doing. The stitch I like to take, I usually use about a 3 to 5. 6 would be the tops. The reason for that is this is pretty loose weave. So if you've got something that's a loose weave, you don't want to go too large on your basting stitch. Then I take just the bobbin. I'm going to take the bobbin thread here and I just gather it. And part of the reason I really kind of like a little bit snugger stitch on this is, can you see how it stays by itself? It doesn't come ungathered again. It stays gathered where I've gathered it. That's really easy, and it's a great idea to just do a smaller stitch so that it stays gathered for you. This one here I've already gathered on both sides, and you can do it a couple ways. You can take these strings and tie them if you want, and tie a knot, and it will stay the width that you want it. Or another way, and you can use this on any time you gather anything, you can put a pin in and you can take it and you wind it like a figure 8 around there, and that will hold it in place as well. Especially if you're doing a long piece and you're wanting to gather parts, you can actually do this in between as well if you wanted to. You can actually cut some of the thread as you gather and have extra length and wrap it around to hold it in place. Once you've got it in where you want it, I'm going to come over here to our cute little gingerbread gal, and she already has, this is what it would look like just as you've either hand sewn these stitches or whether you've machine embroidered. This works for both, the sewing version or the machine embroidery version. And what I do is I'm going to draw a line from the bottom of her 2 straps, and then I'm going to add a 1/4 of an inch, and I'm going to draw another line. And you can use a water-soluble, heat-sensitive, whatever you want to use on this particular one. So once I've drawn my lines, I take my piece that I've gathered and I find the raw edges, and the raw edges are placed along the bottom line right there, and the top comes over and covers her face. That's how we're going to attach that. Now the reason we do this, and you'll see in just a minute, and the other, the 1/4 inch, was for a measurement marking for here, as well as a stitch line, because we want to stitch almost right on top of those gathered stitches so it looks like a nice gather. Now, one of the tricks that I like to do, now you could actually pin it and stitch it that way. A trick that I like to do, and let me show you this, I use the Kimberbell paper tape and I place it right along that edge again, and I like to place my Kimberbell paper tape right on top of it, kind of along that exact same bottom raw edge. The reason I do that is 2 reasons. It holds it down and my presser foot's not going to catch in the gather, and if you want, you can use that raw edge as your outside measurement line, and there's my 1/4 inch where I'm going to sew. And you just simply sew right on that blue line, and as soon as you're done sewing, I would tack it down maybe, a couple of times. You can rip this paper tape right off, and it's already sewn down. Let's pretend that it's sewn down because I haven't actually sewn it. And then when you flip it down this way, there are no raw edges. Your dress is fully finished. And then you're going to take your rickrack piece, and it's actually what's placed on top, and then you stitch your rickrack down. And that is just so, so cute. Don't you think that's just adorable? It finishes off the dress just perfectly. And then over here I have this button pack. I love this holiday button pack. This is a great stocking stuffer. This is just so cute to be able to stick in your fun Christmas stockings. I would give it to a friend if that were me, or maybe myself, right? And you take the different buttons, and for example, I'm going to take the 2 small little red peppermint buttons, and they just go right there on the gingerbread. Isn't that cute? It finishes that dress off just perfectly. And you can buy these buttons, holiday buttons, separate as well. Look for that in your local quilt shop. One more tip that I wanted to share with you is on the rickracks. So sometimes your rickracks will fray on the ends. I use fray check. It's a simple, easy way. I put it on the ends, I let it dry, and then when I get ready to actually sew it on, it's ready, and you can just trim. You can see I can trim right where I've had that fray check, and can you see that just is solid and it doesn't fray on me. But it has to be right where your fray check was placed. And you can see that's a nice straight edge, and it will stay that way and it won't fray on you. That is all I have for you today, and I'm going to let you see how cute this gingerbread dress looks when it's all finished. And it's with the rickrack and those holiday buttons right there, the 2 peppermint. And you could add whatever color you want. That's what I love about this button pack, is you can add whatever you want, wherever you want. And you can see we've used the button pack on this Ginger's Kitchen pillow too. Thank you so much for joining us at Tuesday Tips today, and join us next week. Bye-bye.